Hi there, my name is Kelly Jashinsky and I'm a Vice President Sales Leader and I live just south of Omaha, Nebraska. And I wanted to talk to you guys in this training about what to do when your calendar is a big fat goose egg and you have no parties scheduled. First, I know what that feels like. I have been there many times in my 5.5 years with Norwex, and nobody likes to be there. So if that's where you're at, know that it's okay. Even your leaders can be in that position, but we want to try to avoid it. So I'm going to share with you just some general rules, tips and tricks, point you to some resources, and then talk to you about earning incentive trips. Okay, so I know those are kind of two very different things, but they're also kind of connected. So first of all, let's start with your mindset. We all probably have some level of what I like to call direct sales baggage, and that means that there might be some small part of you that doesn't truly believe that what you have with Norwex is the very best. Or maybe you feel like you're bothering people, or you don't want to be spammy and annoying, and those are all things to be aware of. But I'm going to challenge you to really be confident, because if you aren't confident and you don't totally believe in what you're doing, that is going to come through when you message people. So what you have is the best. Norwex products are making homes safer, making cleaning easier, and you can share it confidently. And I'm also going to give you some verbiage when you're using Messenger or texting to send to people that will help preserve the relationship. So the first thing is, when you have parties on your calendar, or if you do have at least one party on your calendar, you need to capitalize on what you already have to maximize it to get bookings. So in the party you have, whether it's virtual or in-home or catalog or some combination, you want to make sure that your focus is bookings. Like, you might want to take out shopping specials and you might want to take out recruiting opportunities, because your goal is to fill up your calendar. So maybe you're going to incentivize booking parties a little bit more in this particular party that you have than you normally would. The other thing is, you are going to host coach like nobody's business. And I will say that looking back at my business over the last 5.5 years, when my calendar kind of drifted to zero, it probably, a lot of it was attributed to my lack of consistent host coaching. So you can do that in any number of ways. There's lots of resources available. If you go to theresource.norwex.com, you will find host coaching. Your leader can provide you with some ideas, but basically the idea is that Norwex already rewards our hosts for getting bookings, and we want to really make sure they understand the host plan, but you can also incentivize them to get extra bookings. So as of November 2020, Norwex is rewarding them for getting 2 bookings, so make sure that that is front and center for them. And then you can always incentivize a 3rd booking, a 4th booking, a 5th booking, like whatever you can do and need and can afford, then you can do that. So I have some ideas, but keep in mind, everybody's business is different. What I do may or may not be a fit for you or work for you. So I always tell my team, do what you can afford. If you see me giving away mountains of product or shopping sprees, it's because I've earned it for free and I have it. But when I first started and I didn't have a lot of free items and I didn't have a lot of shopping spree money, I wasn't giving stuff away. So you have to kind of weigh, what do you need your calendar to look like and what can you afford? So one thing you could offer is a $50 shopping spree if they get 3 bookings. You could offer a $50 product package if they get 3 bookings. So that's just where you pull together products that you already have sitting around that are a value of $50. They could get 1 item at 35% off if they get 3 bookings. So there's ways that you can make it work to incentivize that 3rd booking. And then I would also recommend that 3rd booking be held within the next 6 to 8 weeks, and that your host gets the item after that 3rd party is held. So there's a little bit of tracking involved, but you don't want to give items away that then don't pan out for you. So host coaching is huge, huge, huge. And that's kind of for if you already have one party on your calendar and you just want to beef it up. Now, if you really are at 0 parties, I've got a list of ideas for you. I'm going to kind of talk you through each one, and then I'm going to point you to a resource with a lot more ideas. So one thing I recommend every consultant on my team do is host your own party every single month. You should be running a Facebook customer care group, and every month you should run a party in there. You can make it just a party for yourself. You could make it a mystery host party every month where somebody is winning the host rewards, but you can always be your own host, and you can always share the products with your own friends and family and customers and clients. From there, you can always be offering Try Me kits. Now for me, I like to do just a basic household package and a Try Me kit, but really your imagination is the limit for Try Me kits. Like really start to talk to people, figure out what their cleaning struggles are, and offer them samples of cleaning paste or descaler or your mop system. They could borrow a mop system for 2 or 3 days. You know, you're only limited by the products that you have on hand, and the products don't have to be new. They don't have to wash them. Like you will take care of all that. You're just getting product in their hand. You're telling them how to use it. You get it back from them. And then the key is follow up. Like if you're not willing to follow up, then don't give a Try Me kit. But as soon as you get that Try Me kit back, you need to say, what was your favorite thing about what you used? What made your cleaning easier? Did you love that descaler? Awesome. Well, the descaler is $29.99, but if you're open to having a party with me, super easy, fast, and fun, then I would give that to you as a booking gift. And then you give it to them, add it on their party when you close it out. So that's just another idea. One thing to think about with this business, though, is that it's very much about relationships and it's a long game. I know for me personally, and I'm sure your other leaders, I have had people book parties with me that I've been in contact with for like 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. You know, very few people, it's kind of like dating. Like you would never walk up to somebody at a restaurant or a bar and think they're cute and then, do you want to marry me? Should we have 5 kids? You know, so that's kind of what this is like a little bit, like we're courting them. And you know, not everybody is ready to jump right into the party when you first meet them. They might need multiple exposures. They might need some time to wrap their mind around the products and how they work. So just because somebody says no to you, it does not mean they are a no forever. It just means they're a no for now. So put them back in your, the end of the queue and ask them again in 3 months or in 6 months. Then, so I'm looking at my notes here. I am going to challenge you to be a human of the world. When you are out and about in public, and maybe it's a little less now because of COVID and all of that, but I bet not. Like you're going to meet people that are interesting. Your hairstylist, somebody at the coffee shop that's at the table next to you. Like we're always striking up conversations with strangers. And when you meet somebody that's interesting, this is literally what you can say and what I have done. You can say, oh my gosh, Nancy, like you're my kind of person. I would love to stay connected to you. Are you on Facebook? And then pull your phone out and friend them right then and there. And here's the thing you got to do. So once their friend requests you, spend the next 2 days like Facebook stalking them. Like their posts, comment on their stuff, like make yourself visible in their mind. And then here's the magic. After a couple of days of that, you're going to send them a message and say, Nancy, listen, I just wanted to let you know I'm a Norwex consultant. I don't know if you're familiar with the products, like no big deal, but I have a customer care group on Facebook and I would just love to put you in there so you can learn more and see if it's something you're interested in. Like no big deal if not. And more often than not, they are going to say, what's Norwex? Or sure, you can throw me in. And I have recruited people, again, over time in this way because I've built a relationship. This happened to me. I met a gal at the Verizon store. She sold my son his cell phone, got his plan going, but you know how slow that process is? It took so long. We laughed, we chatted about kids. It was just like, I really liked her. So by the end, I was like, I don't want to not stay in contact with this really fun, amazing person. So we became Facebook friends. She hosted a party and now she's on my team. So slower process, but when you're out in the world and you feel like your well is dry, be a human of earth and come in contact with people. And then that leads me to vendor events. Now, I don't know where you are, how tight the restrictions are. I don't personally love vendor events, like they're not my personality, but I do 2 every spring and 2 every fall. And then that are my regulars, that are big ones. And then if my calendar's getting slim or I feel like my contacts are running out, I go find one. I'll drive up to 2 hours to do a vendor event, like where I live, because how hungry are you? How desperate are you? Do you need people? Pay the $20, go to a vendor event, and make sure that you are making contact with people. If you talk to somebody and they're somewhat interested, they should be filling out a contact form and you should be contacting them. So with that, I want you guys to really understand that to move your business forward, you have to take certain actions. Now, we can't control outcomes. I and you cannot control if somebody buys something, hosts a party, joins our team, engages every month. None of that we can control. But you can control what you do. You can control how many people you talk to every day, every week, every month. And if you are not talking to people, you are not going to have a business. And if you are relying on Facebook posts to do your business for you, then your business is going to grow incrementally, slowly, or maybe stall and be stale. And what I mean by that is if you say, well, I posted the Norwex specials and nobody booked a party, or I posted in my VIP group that I was giving away a $50 shopping spree and nobody booked a party, if that's your business plan, it's not going to work. You can post those things, but you can't rely on them. That might work 1% of the time. And if you see somebody like me or a high-level leader post and get a booking, it's just because we've been doing this longer and have a little bit more of a following. But even for me, that rarely works. So you also can't expect like your cousin and your sister and your best friend from high school to come to you. Like, sure, they probably know you sell Norwex, but very few people are going to reach out to you and say, hey, I see you sell Norwex. What is that? Can I book a party with you? That also doesn't happen. So you need to be the one reaching out to them and making that contact. So I'm going to tell you I'm sorry, my cat, she had a leg amputated this summer, and ever since, she's just been very needy. So here's the verbiage that you're going to say when you send out a message, and write this down and don't change it, because if you change it, you could change the whole psychology of the message. But what you're going to say is something like, hi, Mary, listen, I know you know I'm doing this Norwex thing. I thought of you because, and then compliment them. I thought of you because I know you care about what your kids are exposed to. I know you've got 3 dogs at home, whatever, just make it personal to them. Hey, Mary, I know you know I'm doing this Norwex thing. I thought of you because you've got 3 kids at home and I know you care what they're exposed to. So listen, I don't know if hosting a party would be for you or not, but would you be open to a fast and fun party? I can give you some information. And if not, no big deal. So the key is, say, I'm doing this thing. I don't know if it's for you. Would you be open? If not, no big deal. Those 3 things are the most important things. Do not send a link or a host flyer, because honestly, the host flyer doesn't mean anything to anybody but us. So if you're only talking and asking to like 1 person a week to host, you will probably never have a full calendar. I'm going to challenge you to do 10 people a week, 10 people a day, like go for 100 no's. Use that verbiage, click send. And here's the other thing. My son just got back from a weekend. It was like a mission trip type thing where they were doing some manual labor and his clothes were filthy. Like they had to dig 6 feet into the ground with shovels to dig out a crawl space. It was really awkward. They were cutting down trees and hauling logs. And he said, Mom, that was so hard. Like it was so physically hard. Like it was cold in the morning. It was hot in the afternoon. They were sweaty and dirty and their hands were blistered. So my point is, digging trenches is hard. Cutting down trees and hauling logs is hard. Sitting in your comfy chair with your cell phone with Netflix on, sending messages isn't hard. Now, you just have to take a deep breath and do it, because when people say no to you or they ignore you, it's not personal. Some people are busy. Some people see it and they forget to respond. They respond in their head. They think, I don't really want to tell her no. So if you use the verbiage that I give you, what I just said about, are you open? If not, no big deal. You're giving them a way to say no and still preserve your relationship and not feel like they have to avoid you like the plague. So I hope that really helps kind of your mindset around that. But once you get those parties booked, you absolutely have to hone and focus on your host coaching. That is the most important thing. And do not close a party without a booking. Don't close it and say, oh, I'll just fudge a booking. Like, don't close a party without a legitimate booking, or your business is done. Like, for that party, that your leads are gone. So there's a lot more like we could talk about with that, but I feel like for now that's probably good. If you need more resources, go to Norwex's The Resource, and if you type in the search bar 30 days of booking ideas, Norwex has 30 action items that you can do to refill your calendar, and every single one is really awesome, and I've probably already shared a handful of them, so please go find that. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about the incentive trip. So I have been with Norwex for 5.5 years. I'm a vice president sales leader. I promoted to Red Jacket in 2017, and I've never earned a trip. Never. And truth be told, I've never been a big partier or a big seller. I think my personality gear is bent more towards leadership and team building. I've always been very good at team building. I've never been somebody that's had a huge party schedule. I honestly got to Red Jacket on 4 to 5 parties a month and just not quitting, just not giving up. Like, I have had 0 parties on my calendar over and over and over the last 5.5 years, and I've just never given up. That is hard. Having 0 parties on your calendar is hard. Messaging people from your comfy chair, not hard. So now, ever since April, my business has really exploded. And I feel like part of it is I've laid a good foundation. I've also always been open to kind of whatever's out there. Like, I don't change my business drastically, but I'm always open to trying new things. Like, I've done messenger parties and texting parties and catalog parties and in-home parties and vendor events and Facebook parties. Like, I've done everything. My bread and butter has been in-home and Facebook. But when multi-host parties came out, I kind of resisted it at first because I felt like, oh, another new thing. I don't want to revamp everything. I'm so, it's very time consuming. But I will say, since I've started doing multi-host parties, I have gone from 4 to 5 parties a month to now every month I have 10 to 12. Like, I've never been somebody that's had 10 to 12 parties. Because April through July were so good for me, I missed the last incentive trip. I ended up missing it by 5,000 points. I was like, oh my gosh, if I would have known I was going to get that close, I could have probably made it. So now this year, I am absolutely like on track for earning the trip. Like, it's going to happen. Every month I update my husband on our numbers, and he's like, earn the trip for 2 for both of us. And I was like, slow down. I've never earned it. Like, let's just earn it for me first and we can buy you in. But why not? So set those goals. Understand that earning a trip is not just sales. Because I am a good recruiter, like, I am also focusing on getting my recruits qualified, because that earns you points. And I'm always looking at and seeing who is near a promotion, because a promotion earns you points too. So that kind of supplements for somebody like me who's maybe not always a top seller. So definitely, if that's on your radar at all, it can happen. If it can happen for me, literally it can happen for you. But talk to your leader, like, make a plan, say, this is what I want, this is where I'm at. And your leader, that's what we're there for. We are there to help you. I've had people on my team earn trips, even though I haven't, and I've helped and supported them. And so it can happen for you too. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful retreat. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can find me on Facebook and send me a message. And good luck with your business. Just don't give up and talk to human beings every day, foster relationships, and they will pay off. Focus on the action of asking, not the outcome of what they say yes or no. I want you to be addicted to the action of asking, not addicted to they said yes or they said no or they ignored me. That's not what we want to worry about. Worry about what you can do, and that's ask. Bye, guys.